Hello and welcome to News Round, where we bring you a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. The headlines. President Bola Tinubu swears in Justice Kekere-Ekun as the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, pending Senate approval. Supreme Court affirms elections of Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, his counterparts in Bayelsa, Doye Diri, and Kogi, Usman Ododo. Nigeria Labour Congress puts members on red alert, threatening to embark on a nationwide strike if its president, Joe Ajero, is detained by the police. Plus, bodies of all 6 missing people recovered from a luxury super yacht that sank off Sicily on Monday. That's News Round in View. We begin News Round from the judiciary. President Bola Tinubu has sworn in Justice Kekere-Ekun as the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, pending approval by the Senate. During a short ceremony in the State House, the president described the acting Chief Justice as a trailblazer and even encouraged her to build on the independence of the nation's judiciary to promote the cause of justice.
The State House Council chamber is the venue of the swearing-in ceremony of the new Chief Justice of Nigeria. In attendance are the President of the Senate, some ministers, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, the immediate past Chief Justice of Nigeria, the President of the Nigerian Bar Association, and heads of judicial bodies in the country. President Bola Tinubu presides over the ceremony as Justice Kekere-Ekun takes the oath of office as the second female Chief Justice of Nigeria.
Kekere-Ekun, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful, that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
Some pictures are taken to mark the historic moment. She's invited to formally take her seat in the chamber. In his comments, President Bola Tinubu commended Justice Kekere-Ekun's meritorious service through the years.
Her meritorious rise from magistrate to justice of the Supreme Court is a testament to her exceptional talent, hard work, unblemished record, strong work ethics, and dedication to her calling as a priest in the temple of justice.
He also had a clear charge for her.
I dare for all your lordship to be faithful and loyal to the Constitution when discharging your duty as acting Chief Justice of Nigeria. I also encourage you to defend the judiciary's independence. Always promote the cause of justice, strengthen mechanism for integrity, discipline, and transparency in the judicial sector.
Speaking afterwards, Justice Kekere-Ekun spoke on her vision for the judiciary.
We'll make sure that people have more confidence in the judiciary. And I believe that it's not a one-man job. We all have to be on board. And because we all see where the areas are that need improvement, I believe that there will be cooperation because we all want to see a better judiciary. A better judiciary is for the benefit of the entire nation.
The governor of Lagos State believes her appointment is another example of the nation's growing democracy.
For us, it's the beauty of what our democracy is. And to all Nigerians, I think it's another moment for us to be thankful. She will be, the second female Chief Justice of the Federation. And what a time, and we're indeed excited. We're excited not just because she's a Lagosian and I am, but because of who she is. You know, she's been an outstanding jurist.
Justice Kekere-Ekun will assume office as the 23rd Chief Justice of Nigeria in acting capacity, pending her confirmation by the Senate. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, Justice Kekere-Ekun's swearing-in comes just as Justice Olukayode-Ariwoola retires as the Chief Justice of Nigeria. At the valedictory session in his honor at the Supreme Court in Abuja, the former CJN called for measures to be put in place to reduce the burden on the Supreme Court.
Very senior lawyers, legal experts, friends and family of the 22nd Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode-Ariwoola, are in this hall for a valedictory court session in his honor. The full complement of justices of the Apex Court are also here to witness the ceremony.
Greater heights in life.
The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice kickstarts the session with an assurance of the federal government's support to the judiciary and its resolve to ameliorate the sufferings of Nigerians.
Nigeria's justice sector shall continue to witness several massive turnarounds, initiatives and projects that will restore, transform and reposition our justice sector and place it as the best in the global legal community.
Lending their voices, the Nigerian Bar Association and the body of benchers extol the virtues of Justice Ariwoola.
We appreciate the grace of God upon the life of my Lord, the Honorable Justice Olukayode-Ariwoola, for seeing his lordship through an illustrious career on the bench and as Chief Justice of Nigeria.
My Lord Justice Ariwoola is a very good parent, a parent who cares about his children, about their career, about their future, about the generations yet unborn.
In his valedictory speech, the outgoing Chief Justice of Nigeria laments the overburdening of the Apex Court.
My noble lords, it is however my belief that access to justice should not be regarded as uncontrolled and unfiltered liberty to bring all forms of cases to the Supreme Court. It is my belief that we trivialize the institution of the Supreme Court as a court of policy when every form of litigation is able to meander its way to the Apex Court.
He also bemoans the long delay in the adjudication of cases owing to inadequate judicial officers.
It is my conviction that the right to fair hearing enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria could only be meaningful when litigants have enough judges and justices to hear their cases. Justice is not a scarce commodity to be queued for. Justice without delay is inherent, natural, and constitutional.
The immediate past Chief Justice of Nigeria, who was born on the 22nd of August 1954, was elevated to the Supreme Court bench in November 2011 and appointed the Chief Justice of Nigeria in June 2022, following the resignation of Justice Tanko Mohammed. He will be succeeded by Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun.
The Supreme Court has affirmed the re-election of Doye Diri as the duly elected governor of Bayelsa State after dismissing the appeal filed by Tinubu Silva, the candidate of the APC in the November 11, 2023 off-cycle election. A five-member panel of the Apex Court, headed by Justice Lawal Garba, affirmed the Court of Appeal's decision of July the 15th. In the same vein, the Supreme Court also affirmed the election of Usman Ododo of the All Progressives Congress as the duly elected governor of Kogi State, and Hope Uzodinma, also of the APC, as the Imo State duly elected governor.
From Bayelsa, Kogi and Imo States, party faithful and their lawyers converged on the Supreme Court to witness the judgment of the Apex Court on their governors. Proceedings begin with the pronouncement on the appeal filed by Mr. Tinubu Silva of the All Progressives Congress against the election of Mr. Doye Diri as the re-elected governor of Bayelsa State. Citing relevant sections of the 1999 Constitution, the five-man panel of the Apex Court held that the APC governorship candidate has only one right to appeal the judgment of the tribunal and not multiple appeals. The court therefore faulted him for filing 2 notices of appeal to the appellate court and in a unanimous judgment threw out his appeal for lack of merit. Lawyers to Governor Diri and his deputy applaud the verdict of the apex court.
Well, we are very happy that today again, Governor Diri has won. You will recall that this has been a series of victories affirming his victory at the election. At the election tribunal, we won. At the Court of Appeal, we won. And today, too, at the Supreme Court, the final court, the highest court of the land, we have also won, affirming his victory at the polls.
The appeal here is also dismissed, just like the Court of Appeal dismissed it, because it was an abuse of court process, because the Constitution only entitled you to file 1 appeal, and so you cannot file 2 appeals.
The Independent National Electoral Commission had declared that Governor Doye Diri of the PDP garnered a total of 175,196 votes to defeat his closest rival, Tinubu Silva of the APC, who polled 110,108 votes. Flowing from the judgment of the Bayelsa case, the Supreme Court equally affirmed the election of Mr. Usman Ododo of the All Progressives Congress as the winner of the off-cycle election held in Kogi State on November 11, 2023. In a unanimous judgment delivered by Justice Sadiq Abubakar, the apex court upheld the decision of the Court of Appeal, which on the 27th of May 2024 affirmed the election of Mr. Ododo. The 5-man panel held that the allegation of substantial non-compliance with the Electoral Act was not proven by the SDP governorship candidate. It further adds that allegations of age falsification and certificate forgery are pre-election matters which ought to have been ventilated at the Federal High Court that has jurisdiction to hear such matters.
The court decision was a succinct statement of the correct position of the law regarding how to prove an election petition and how not to appeal against an election petition decision. And the court, in doing that, established that it's only one appeal that an appellant has against the decision of a tribunal.
It was somewhat dramatic as boos could be heard when the SDP governorship candidate for Kogi State was leaving the court. When the panel reconvened, the 2 appeals filed by Mr. Ethan Achono of the Labour Party and Mr. Samuel Anyonwo of the People's Democratic Party PDP challenging the election of Mr. Hope Uzodinma as the duly elected governor of Imo State suffered the same fate as the apex court dismissed them for want of merit. In the lead judgment delivered by Justice Mohammed Baba Idris, the LP and PDP governorship candidates were said to have failed to establish allegations of overvoting and other malpractices against the November 11, 2023 poll. In a unanimous decision, the apex court upheld the earlier decisions of the Court of Appeal and that of Imo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which sat in Abuja and dismissed the petitions in their separate judgments. The governors of Bayelsa and Kogi State hailed the ruling of the Supreme Court and dedicated their victory to God.
And the tribunal and the appeal courts, we again dedicate this victory to God Almighty, who has made it possible for the people of Bayelsa to grant us this mandate. And thereafter, it is the triumph of the people's mandate. So the Supreme Court has affirmed it, and that is the apex court in Nigeria. So this victory is not for me, it's not for my deputy governor, it is the victory of the people of Bayelsa State.
Okay, so we have always extended the olive branch to them to come and join me to move Kogi State forward. Kogi State remains our state, and we want to come together on round table to discuss the affair of our destiny. You see, it is not a personal war. It is not a personal fight. It is a contestation to hold power on behalf of the people, to serve them. And that is just it.
Let me take it home.
The governor of Imo State reacted via a statement dedicating the victory at the Supreme Court to all citizens of Imo, irrespective of political or religious affiliation. He rededicated himself to the service of the good people of Imo State. The verdict of the Apex Court has finally laid to rest the electoral disputes over the duly elected governors of Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo States.
When newsround returns, the NLC threatens industrial action if its national president Joe Ajaero is detained. Do stay with us.
Stay connected to the world with Channels TV Podcast and get
Welcome back. Trouble appears to be brewing on the labour sector as unionists, after their emergency meeting during the week, placed members on strike notice if its national president is detained by the police. The NLC president, Mr. Joe Ajaero, is being summoned over allegations of terrorism, financing, treasonable felony and cybercrime. The police had requested that Mr. Ajaero appear for questioning at 10 a.m. on August the 20th, even as the NLC expressed its readiness to cooperate with the invitation and directed its legal team to seek a rescheduled date for his appearance.
It's a normal work day at the headquarters of the Nigeria Labour Congress. Nevertheless, these NLC members are here for an emergency meeting following an invitation sent to its president by the Nigeria police to respond to allegations of terrorism financing, treasonable felony, and cybercrime. The NLC president arrives at the 10th floor and heads straight to the meeting that held behind closed doors. Outside the building, hundreds of workers flock into the premises and spontaneously begin singing solidarity songs condemning the police summon of the NLC president. The crowd is soon joined by some of the leaders who later briefed journalists about the outcome of the closed-door meeting of the National Executive Council.
We will honor the invitation of the Nigerian police because we are not a faceless organization, but we believe that we need an extension of time after consultation with our lawyers. And secondly, we resolve that in an event our Congress president was arrested or detained at any moment, we put our appellate on red alert to mobilize our membership across the country, that all workers in this country should down-tool their services.
Meanwhile, the leadership of the NLC in Lagos State also condemns the police summon.
As they have invited him, they have invited everybody. So we are going to follow up, and I think, like I said, my advice is to the government to tread with caution so that they will not do certain things that will take us backward. We should not be drafted to taking action which ordinarily we wouldn't want to take. But nevertheless, the workers were resolute and were watching. And I think Nigerians will hear from the leadership of the labor movement very shortly. Action may be unfolding any moment.
When the end bad governance, was about to commence, Nigeria Labour Congress have to call meetings of all our affiliates that we will not partake in that end bad governance, for the reason being that we are not an architect of that protest. Even at that we did not participate. Our president, they still want to wish on him. We will not fold our arms, and we will not allow this to happen to the president of NLC.
The recent face-off between the Nigeria police and the NLC began last week when the police led what it said was a raid to search for terror suspects at the headquarters of the Workers' Union.
The death toll caused by heavy floods in Jigawa State has risen to 28, with over 40,000 people affected. Governor Umar Namadi confirmed this while speaking to members of the House Committee on Ecological Fund at the State Government House in Dutse. According to him, over 8,000 people are now living in temporary internally displaced persons camps across the state.
14 local government areas of Jigawa State are now affected by heavy floods, forcing many to take alternative shelter, mostly in school buildings. This is a small private school that has now become a temporary shelter for 5 families.
We have lost most of our belongings. I don't think we can recover easily, so we need the government to help us.
We need help. We have to beg for even the clothes we wear. Please, we need help.
Shaibu Ibrahim, a cap weaver affected by the floods, narrates how he has been impacted.
Water has taken over the market and our homes. We are in a very bad situation and we have lost a lot.
Meanwhile, help is on the way as members of the House Committee on Ecological Fund visited the government house and promised intervention.
And looking at the plot, and that is another area that we say we must address it. We know it is perennial in most of the states, but we want to see how come we can come in and provide solution to it.
The state governor provides update on the situation.
Mr. Chairman, as of today, for the perennial rain, we have 14 local governments that are affected by flood. As of today, we have almost close to 40,000 people that are affected. As of today, we have almost 8,000 people in IDPs, in different IDP camps. As of today, in fact, more than 7,000 houses completely destroyed. Over 6,500 farmland washed away. And these things have affected over 135 communities. We have lost about 28 people with this one.
The situation remains dire and urgent action is needed to support those affected by the disaster. Sadiq Ilyasu, Channels Television News.
We end news round with the Sicily shipwreck. A luxury yacht sank off the coast of Sicily during a bad storm off the Italian fishing village of Porticello on Monday. Now, the yacht had 22 people on board and 15 of them were rescued, including a 1-year-old child. The captain of a nearby ship says he found 15 survivors in a life raft and alerted the Coast Guard. So far, 6 bodies were recovered. And that's a wrap on News Round, a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. Many thanks for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balu.